Welcome to OreoOlives.com. As you know, Oreo olives don't mix, but the abstract thought of putting those two words together has enlightened me to create a channel to discuss various topics. On today's episode, I wanted to talk briefly to y'all about a recent trip. Well, actually, not too recent, but we took a trip overseas and before, and to in a lot of different countries over the course of years. And what I've never done before is actually just posted videos about travel excursions and stuff like that because I really just didn't think about it. But what I want to do is kind of just show you a couple of pictures that I had taken of us when we was there and everything. And for those people out there that know me personally, they know like we really like to travel a lot. We like to get around the world, see different countries, see different things, and just kind of explore. Go off the beaten path, try different things, try different cuisines. I love a lot of international food, particularly sushi and things like that. Um, it's just amazing just to be able to go to the other side of the world and just see just different types of people and just to get out of the comfort zone that you are used to seeing every day, every week, every month, every year. Being home. But a couple of pictures I'm going to show today is going to be um, pictures of trips that we've taken, just a couple of shots, particularly in China, um, India, and Thailand, and a couple of the things in the pictures you may recognize, but I just want to kind of just show you a little bit. But particularly in China, back a couple of years ago, we went there, and what's interesting today is I know I was talking about eating like different cuisine and stuff. I'm actually eating sushi today, guys. Sushi with a little sriracha sauce and everything. Um, hmm. but what I want to show you, this right here was Tiananmen Square, and Tiananmen Square. Um, Most of you have probably heard on the History Channel about it. Some of you have probably seen it, but it's in Dongqing, China. And there was actually a protest and a massacre that actually happened here back in 1989. Um, and this was known as the June 4th incident in China, but it was led by pretty much like a student demonstrations and protest that was held in Tiananmen Square back in '89, and it was with troops, armed with assault rifles and accompanied by tanks and fired at the demonstrators and everything, and military and trying to block the military's advance in Tiananmen Square. But I didn't know that to after like coming back home. We never learned about this stuff in high school, so it's amazing what you will see. But in Tiananmen Square itself, the building that you're looking at here behind me is on one side. They had some soldiers that was out there marching and everything, and they were lining up like the gentlemen right back on the left and right hand side of the screen that are wearing the green uniforms. One interesting piece to this that makes this very interesting is Tiananmen Square is definitely a site that you would definitely need to see because I think that it will be beneficial if you're over, especially in China, and you are seeing this that you can actually like go and actually walk through that red building behind me, as you can see there. And in that building, what's very interesting about it is that building has or is made of wood, and in that wood building is so many different. Um, what's interesting about the building is made of 100% just wood, so you can't smoke or anything in Tiananmen Square, and it's definitely prohibited. And so once you go out there, you are pretty much like completely like you cannot smoke, but you have to go under like a tunnel under the main traffic that you see in the background, and then you come up on the other side and you go through the door right over here where the people are. and then you proceed to go into a yard back in the background. Now, what I want to do is basically go through some of the pictures in Tiananmen Square so that you all can see them. But if I can get these up here, kind of clicking through here. So this is one of the main buildings that's out there. Excuse me having on the scarf and everything because it was a bit cold when we was over there. It was around in like December, so it was like really, really cold. But you can see the building there behind me, and that is to the left of the red building that I had just shown you a second ago. Then once you go inside the red building and everything, what you will see a lot of is you're going to see just a grand courtyard that is concrete, and you're going to see wood everywhere. But it's beautiful on the inside of there, and it is a lot of different places and things you can see. And once you go like their building right there, once you go get on the inside through the door at the top, it takes you out to the opposite side, of course, and then you can see the courtyard out there. You can see people like walking around and people hanging out. I mean, it is completely like a huge. And the fire pots or the water pots that you see there, these are these huge steel pots that are just sitting out there. And what was going on is when there was a fire that occurred or that would happen on the inside, these would be filled with water. So the people would basically go and take and get the water from here, since of course there wasn't fire hydrants and stuff. This is how they would put out like the fires. And like I said, if you're ever in Beijing, definitely check this out. It's definitely a tourist attraction there. And going from Beijing, of course, visiting Thailand, there's a couple of more pictures that are here. This was in this fun dinosaur park. So you actually can run around and do these obstacle courses. So they got these dinosaurs chasing you, and it's actually people inside of them somehow are running and they're orchestrating it. But it's very neat. But in this specific lab, this young lady here was holding a fake baby dinosaur, and they were hatching them. And this is all for play, so it's definitely for kids. But the black window behind her, right there, it will raise up, and then this Tyrannosaurus Rex will come and will look in the window and kind of bang up against it, so you have to hide and be still, but you can feel the floor shaking and everything. So it is like absolutely hilarious just seeing this from a grown-up's perspective. But for kids, it is like the best. To me, it was better than a theme park because you actually got to feel as if you was like in a Jurassic type mode there. And in Thailand as well, of course, you got the floating markets. So just being there and actually riding in the boats. This was a picture here that I had taken of a Thai woman. Looked like she was eating lunch, and down on the floating market, they actually sell fruits, vegetables. They sell rice. They sell all kinds of food down the floating market. And just think of it like if you would go to like a market in like a farmer's market in the U.S. Their market is basically, they're known for the floating market, which you have to get in the boat. You drive up to a certain point, and then they drop you off, and then you go and you rent the boat and you drive down there. And that's what we did. We took a little excursion down, got a chance to actually see it from a cultural perspective. And this is another picture, as you can see here, that you have people driving the boats down in the floating market. And at that time, you all, this was the time when the king had actually passed, and and um, and this was back, like I said, back in 2017, and it was, let's see here, that was actually, wow, to be honest with you, the king of Thailand had died at the age of 88 on October the 13th of 2016. Um, BE to 2559 after a long illness. A year-long period of mourning was sequentially announced, and the royal cremation ceremony took place over 5 days at the end of October 2017, which was when we were there. Like all the Thai people were wearing black, and it was a year long of mourning. So keep in mind, we was there back in December of 2017 ish, and he had passed um, the year before. So it was the longest reigning or the longest mourning that people have had, because the king had passed. So they was, had like a lot of palaces and temples and stuff like that set up where you can go in and pray, and you have to take off your shoes and all that stuff. So this was, we didn't know this prior to going, but it was very interesting to see it in effect. And this was once you reach the end of the floating markets, going from the outside coming into the city center. This is a sign, and so they of course had it in English there. Welcome to the floating markets, and you pretty much, I mean, just get in the boat and you just go. Now, in Thailand, India, and China, their staple food is rice. So you have to be very cognizant of that. If you're not a rice person, you're probably not going to like being in the country. But if you have no problem with that, they do have other selections, but mostly you're going to have rice or just about anything there. And this was me just looking off on the side of the boat. There was actually a giant python that they had. This guy was holding it off to the side, and the python was basically hanging off this guy's hand and in the water. And so you were like the top part of your boat is like right here, and then the water was like right here. So any wrong move as they're speeding down through these canals was so thrilling, like extremely thrilling. And I absolutely enjoyed being in Thailand because of the food, just the culture, and it was just so much fun. But you have to be a person who is absolutely okay of going out, just kind of taking like a backpack tour, just not planning anything, just getting out there and really going. And this was like pre-COVID, so of course COVID didn't happen to 2020, but this was a couple of years before. But these were between Thailand and India, of course, going and traveling down the roads in India, extremely long, extremely long, extremely dark. I trying to yes, this was in India because I'm thinking this was India. Maybe I'll be maybe wrong, but we went between the three countries, and the writing of their language kind of looks similar. So I think this may be India here, but you can kind of see the writing there. And welcome to the Yamana Expressway. And what a lot of people don't know is the classic picture of the Taj Mahal. Everybody's always taking a picture of the beautiful white building. But what they don't tell you is before you get to the Taj Mahal, you have to go into the city center, and it's like a roundabout, and you get dropped off, and you have to walk through this pathway. And it was dirty, of course. I did not expect it. It was totally unexpected. But once you got up to this point right here, what was very interesting is there was monkeys that were on the wall, so they were climbing there, which was very interesting. But then when you walk through that small doorway, it was like a completely different world. And that was the picture that everybody was always taking the Taj Mahal, but nobody's actually taking a picture of, what's behind them. They're always taking a picture of the Taj Mahal, and I do got a couple of shots of that, but I don't think I put it up here yet. But when you walk through that door, this is the picture that everybody always see. They always see the Taj Mahal from this angle. But behind you is where it wasn't as beautiful. It was, like I said, the monkeys were on the wall, like literally, I think there was it gibbons or baboons? I can't remember which one it was, but they were just like on the wall and stuff. And one thing you have to be cognizant of in India, you'll see a lot of cows, And then at one temple that we went to, which I do have a picture of it on here, there was a lot of rats that were there, and it's considered like good luck. So don't be like surprised or shocked that you do see that. But um, the Taj Mahal was one of those buildings like the Burj Khalifa. Um, I've always wanted to visit this the Taj Mahal, and we finally got that opportunity. Absolutely beautiful. I mean, they had people out there literally like cutting the grass with like scissors. Um, the 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 spires on the side, they actually are not straight. They're actually kind of tilted out to the side because I believe they was done that way because if an earthquake happens, they fall away from the Taj Mahal and they don't fall into the actual marble. But what a lot of people don't know is behind this building for one of his other wives, he was going to build a black marble Taj Mahal, but he never actually got around to it. But this one he had built as a palace for his wife. Inside, you can take a flashlight, and with the flashlight, I was trying to get mine here. So you can actually take a flashlight and you can shine it on the walls, but you're not supposed to have this stuff in there. But our tour guide took his phone and he turned on the light and he was shining through the walls, but he actually got his phone taken. Don't try that over there. Please do not try that because I'm not responsible if you get kicked out. But we definitely shined that like on the walls and stuff. And it was really neat because you can see the light going through the walls. It's actually a beautiful, almost see-through marble. Beautiful. And that's a close-up picture. Extremely clean, like very, very clean on the inside. And you basically walk around a tomb. So you got to walk straight down where you see the pretty little small pond, and you walk up the stairways, and then you walk around the bottom portion of it, and then you walk through the larger portion to go inside the building. You walk around out the opposite side there. But absolutely beautiful on the inside. Now, before we get into the Taj Mahal, this was the Shad Baburi, and I posted another video, but I believe in the Shambori, it was in one of the Batman movies. And what was interesting about the Shan Baburi, it was in Rajasthan, India, and it has an ancient way of preserving or water preservation. I believe I said 35. I think I said 3,500 steps in one of my last videos that I posted. This actually, yeah, it actually consists of 3,500 steps and over 13 stories. So just looking over this, you all, was completely scary. And you actually start around at this door, I'm sorry, up up at eye level. You start up here and then you kind of like make your way over and you can walk around. Now, some people actually go down in that well and get water because that is one of the largest wells that they have there. It's absolutely the deepest. Um, think of it as an inverted pyramid upside down. Where a pyramid is like this, think of it like this. The steps are super steep. Just think about like if somebody had pushed you over in there, you are pretty much like dead. I mean, that's how scary it is just looking over the edge. Like you don't want someone to, to fall over. But that's why they have the gates up and stuff. Sometimes homeless people do kind of go in there and they will sit and kind of like sleep. So you have to be cautious of that when going through there. But um, a little bit next to this was another temple that had rats like running around. So that's actually um, a big thing there in India. But this right here was extremely interesting. Very, very good sight. I wish I would have had my drone at the time to fly to get some aerial shots of this, but this was one that I had taken there. And pretty much that sums up most of the pictures that I had taken when we was there at those sites, going back and forth between India and Thailand, and see, India, Thailand, and China was definitely some of the most interesting aspects of the trip. Really enjoyed it quite a lot and so much, and I just want to just thank you all pretty much for stopping by the channel. I'm gonna definitely pull some more video. I did get the Great Wall of China as well. I should have actually taken a picture of that. Well, I do got some pictures of it, but I should have actually posted it here so you all could see it here on the channel and everything. And let me see. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up real fast. Won't take too much of y'all's time, but just overall, you guys, if you are traveling, you have to get out and see some other parts of the world. I mean, it is too much stuff and it's too beautiful out there for you not to see any of that. Okay, like you most definitely have to get out here and see the world. It is so much to see. It's so many things to actually do, and I don't want you to sell yourself short or regret a lot. Tongue tie there. I don't want you to regret not going and seeing different countries because it is just something that you pretty much just have to do. Okay, take that time. If you don't got a passport, get you a passport. Get out there. See this because I promise you, after looking at these pictures, if this doesn't inspire you to go out and see the different sites, like I've been to so many countries, but I haven't been to as many states because states I can go to any day, but countries, sometimes you can't get out the country due to money or cost. But just as you would spend money on anything else, just think of it this way. If you plan a trip in advance, I mean, you can get some pretty cheap tickets to go to like Germany, for instance. You can go to the Dominican Republic. You can go to the Philippines. I mean, the tickets are not as bad. You're going to spend it on, clothes, shoes, or something else anyway. So why not go ahead and take that money and just invest in yourself? Get your passport, go ahead, get you a good trip, get out there and really just take that into consideration too. So this is one of the pictures that I had taken from the Great Wall of China. You can see it snaking its way through the terrain. You all, I cannot even explain just the feeling in your mind, body, and soul seeing the Great Wall for yourself on a beautiful day like this. If you don't do anything else in life, if you can spend it on an expensive car, you can buy expensive clothes, you can buy a pair of Jordans, whatever. Take that money, you all, and at least travel to one country before you leave this earth. I cannot say that any more than how I'm saying it right now. It is not hard at all to get a passport. It's not hard at all to get just a couple of people that you're really close to, family, friends, and you all book a trip. Get out of the country. Do not leave this earth without visiting some country outside the United States that's going to require you to really think and get out here. So please do that. If you don't listen to anything else on this specific video, go out and travel the world. At least hit one country. At least do that. So with that being said, like, listen, subscribe, OrioOlive.com. Subscribe to our channel. You can look us up online on YouTube, OrioOlive.com. Look forward to bringing more content. Talk to you soon.